What's up, everybody? It's Big Irish J. Come subscribe. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? It's another episode of Ask a Black Guy. As always, Kev on stage, Kevin Fredericks.
Power to the people.
All right, let's get into it. So,
go.
Question: why, if I pull up to a stop sign and one of your people, a black person, I pause to let him walk across? Why the slow walk with? I'm adding this. Somebody just said, "Why does?" Yeah, here he goes. With the mean mug. Yeah. Why? Oh, dude. You know, I just had a guy do that the other day with his girl. I pulled up and stopped, and he was a ways, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll wait and let them walk." She totally walking across, and then him just mean, and I'm like, I can turn you into a speed bump. I can just pointing my toe.
It's all about alpha male.
Oh.
4 lions. We're in the jungle.
Yeah.
Right? You're kind enough to let me walk by. You think I owe you a fast walk?
If we were in the jungle and I'm a lion, I wouldn't. I would just eat you.
No.
I'm a bigger lion.
No. But
and my lion is
bad analogy. Bad analogy.
Wait. And my lion is driving a 2-ton car.
It's about the alpha male thing, man. Hey, you might be kind enough to let me go, but you don't own me. You don't owe me nothing, white man.
I'm like,
I don't know.
I'm like,
I always feel it's like this. Like, okay, so if you're holding the door for somebody that's way far, and then you feel obligated to run, speed up. No, I didn't ask you to hold the door. I didn't ask you to let me walk. You want to go, go. I'm walking at my speed, cuz.
If I held the door before and I saw a dude, like because I do that all the time. Like I'm like, here you go. And most of the time people are like, oh, thanks. Don't worry about it. But if you were kind of a ways away, and I was like this, I was like, oh, and you just kind of like, and then slow walk. Oh, as you walk through, just right on your ankle. Just, oh, dude, I've never understood that. I'm like, or like, you can't, even if you're a thug, you can't be like a courteous thug. Be like, thanks, cuz. You know, like,
the fact that you have the black guy head nod down to perfection.
Say, man. Thanks. Thanks, man. All right. Next one. Do all black people just assume like white people have just awesome lives, just by default?
You know, we don't deal in absolutes and alls and all this thing, but in general. I don't know, but I don't think it would be. I don't think that. I think when you're poor and everything you see on TV around you, everybody seems to be.
You got a TV?
Yeah,
and you're
poor. You know you're enjoying life, but I don't think you think. Well, I don't know, man, because you probably do think you're a poor black person. Do you think white? Probably do think white people have it good. Like
I think it's probably just a class more class.
I'm telling you, man. I think socioeconomic class has more to do with things. Sometimes more to do with things than race, especially with that question, because you have poor white. There's a such thing as poor white people. You know what I mean? We tend to think. Okay, so remember when Mitt Romney did that 47% thing of Americans?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, poor black people. Well, the comment he made affected more old white people than poor black people, because they rely on people who rely on the government more than poor black people are old people. Old people need government assistance way more than poor people, and that's old people across the board. And even by ratio, black people are not the ones that get government assistance more. We think that the media makes us think that's a whole bunch of girls with terrible weave and living in the projects that are just living off the government. It's really not. It's a lot of people. A lot of soldiers, post army career, and it's a lot of old people, seniors who rely on the government more than anybody. So anyway, but what the truth is and what people think are
Kevin Fredericks, 2016.
Cornell West. I went to Cornell and did a show, and I'm just like instantly smarter.
Nice. I was gonna say I think black people have a greater life because I've seen hip hop videos. They got bitches and and mansions and fresh rides. All right.
All rented, even the women.
Yeah. All right. Next one. When you're watching a movie, do you prefer? I hope I'm wording this right for the way that the person presented a question on YouTube. Do you prefer?
Sorry, I'm tired. It's not you.
I don't have to keep doing these if I'm boring you.
I'm just tired. It's not personal.
Good Lord.
I never do it during mine.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of selfish. He's like, oh, let's do Jay's thing. Ugh. All right. Do you, if you're watching a movie, I guess, do you automatically, I hope I'm wording this correctly how they asked it, do you automatically like it more, prefer it more if the leading man is black versus leading man is white?
Oh, that's a good question.
I hope I worded this correctly.
I'm a movie fanatic.
I am too.
Okay. Here's the thing. I don't think it's more, I think
and then after this, your 3 favorite movies.
Okay, and they're not going to be, any are going to be black either. Here's the thing. And that's
that's weird because mine's like Roots, 12 Years a Slave, and Django.
The problem is Hollywood is white people.
Yeah.
It's white owned. So
and Jewish.
Yeah. We learned about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, people loved Mo.
So when you have a majority controlling the entire industry or a big portion of the industry, then you're going to have more films. You're going to have way more films. You're going to have more good ones and more bad ones. Black films, since there's smaller people, smaller, sample of black actors that are in Hollywood, you're not going to get as many good films to choose from because Hollywood's about making money. So they think white people are going to go to the movies. You'll take a risk and you have more bad movies. Black people can't really afford to have bad movies. So you have the same people making movies over and over. You got your dramas being made by Spike Lee.
Tyler Perry,
and then you have Tyler Perry ruling the comedy world. And in white culture, you have Judd Apatow makes a type of movie.
Yeah.
And then Adam Sandler makes a type. You have
Quentin
Tarantino, who I love. So I think there's not as many black films to choose from to be good. Now, black actor versus white actor, you have you can be equal. You can have an equally talented actor. I prefer some for different roles. Like Denzel, could you say he's better than Russell Crowe? Or word? I mean, Russell Crowe out-acted his butt off against Denzel in
Russell Crowe. I'm thinking of
Russell Brand.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude. I'm so glad you correct because I was thinking you were talking Russell Brand. I was like, what?
Yeah, some movie they did in the early '90s. Russell Crowe just ran circles around him, and then when they were together for American Gangster, Denzel, it was closer to being equal. So I think if we had equal, I don't think the question would be a question. But no, I don't think if this was a white guy would be better,
And you don't see a movie where if the main guy is a black dude, you don't automatically just be like, oh, this is 5 stars automatically.
No.
Yeah.
I think some stories are cultural specific and some are universal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the stories are universal, so anybody could act. And I love to mention this. Black people, we be mad that there's not a lot of black people.
I'm sorry, we what?
Yes, we be mad.
We be mad.
Be African American vernacular English. I don't know why. But Asian actors are not represented almost at all in film. Native American, even less than that. So we can complain, but we're not getting the worst of the treatment. We're getting more than anybody else except white people. My favorite movies, my favorite actor, male actor. My favorite actor actually is an actress, Meryl Streep. She's my favorite. I think she's like the most talented actress ever. Anthony Hopkins is really good too.
What about Daniel Day-Lewis?
People are really high on him. I'm not as high on him as other people.
From Ireland.
Is he? The thing I like about him, you wouldn't even know it's him from movie to movie. Like him as Bill the Butcher versus him as No Country for Old Men or
Oh, dude, he's not in that.
No,
not all white people look alike.
It came out the same time.
He did My Left
Foot. With the blood and oil. He was selling oil.
Yeah, what is it? I forget. I know what you're talking about.
It came around like the same year.
I drink your milkshake.
Dude, that performance.
Well, then how do you...
people are just... I have a hard time when people are hyped up.
Have you seen In the Name of the Father?
No.
You know what I did, Da? I wrote your name in the dirt. And then I pissed on it.
Is that him?
Yeah,
is that your Irish accent?
He is. I mean, there's different kinds, but that's really good.
I can't think of the name of that movie, but yes, he's very good. But I wouldn't.
Is it like Thy? No, I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he hasn't been in as many movies.
There will be blood.
That's it. There will be blood. I said blood money.
Yeah. You're like Bloods and Crips.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, so him and that I really like. But he doesn't do a lot of movies because he's like when he's in, he's like.
And I guess, what's it called, a method actor where you...
He's a method actor, absolutely.
Did you hear, like he did, I think it's called My Left Foot, where he plays, I don't know if that's actually one, but he plays like somebody that's in a wheelchair, and he did it for he stayed in a wheelchair in character through the whole film, that he broke a rib. from sitting in the. Yeah, I'm like, it's crazy. I know, white people.
But anyway, favorite movies.
Yeah.
Memento. They're not in any order.
Yeah.
Memento, Shawshank Redemption. That's just a really good story. Forrest Gump actually is a really good movie. The Dark Knight, even though it's an action film, that's probably one of the.
Is that the one with Joker?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Better story-wise for an action film, that's up there. And I don't know the fifth one. It's not as important as the other ones.
All right.
But
cool.
see, only one that had a black actor in there, Morgan Freeman. He's in 2. He's in Shawshank and he's in Dark Knight.
That's true.
But he's not the leading man.
And this is the last one, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, last one. The race card. Is the race card the equivalent?
I think I have one.
You take it out like a credit card. Don't go anywhere without your race card. You should do a skit on that. Is the race card the equivalent of like white privilege? And what I mean by that is that like that can be your go-to or your backup.
The race card?
Playing the race card. Like if something doesn't happen,
it's
because I'm black. Yeah.
You know, okay, so here's the thing.
I love when you start off like, all right, let me just break it down for white people.
Here's the thing.
Let me give you a secret.
White privilege is, it is a state of being. It is a constant thing in motion. Yeah. The race card is something that has to be played. You know what I mean?
like Uno.
Right. White privilege is the rules. The rules were set by white people. These are the rules of the game. So now I'm going to have a card to play. Yeah, I might be able to play this card, but I'm not going to be able to change the game.
Yeah.
Huh? There's another. But yeah, I think, because you can only really play the race card in conversation.
You know, when there was a conversation I had with somebody on one of the YouTube comments, because I always respond to everyone.
I do my best.
But we were talking about the white privilege thing, and somebody had brought up about that, where like the opposite of the white privilege is where you have no, like if you're talking about white privilege, you have no excuse. Mm-hmm. Like if you didn't get the job, you can't be like, well, it was because this guy. It's just I just really suck.
When I was in college, it's like, well, you got into UW because you're black.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like affirmative action helped you. Well, and because you're black and you got in, somebody white didn't get out. Not because I had a 3.4 or a good essay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, the other is too is like for on the white side is like, oh, you got the job because you're white. Like, you know, I can't just be a hard worker. Nope, you gotta,
or your uncle owns a company or something like that.
Now, seriously.
Like at Boeing, I kid you not, like nepotism, there was a big question among the black employees about nepotism because of like, okay, I'll put it like this, it's easier to say, so they hired like maybe 10 young people, like fresh out of college, they hadn't hired anybody in 5 years. They hired maybe 10 young people, and 2 of them were black, me and my boy, and the rest were white. The only people whose parents didn't work at Boeing,
you and your buddy,
me and my buddy.
That's
now,
crazy.
Was that nepotism, or was that the fact that parents who work at Boeing generally have money to, because you had to have a college degree to work at Boeing as well. You tend to have money to pay for a college degree, and also if your parents work at Boeing, which is a good company, why not apply there? Well, you know what I mean? Because I don't think it was like when parents called and said, hey, hire my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you still have to. Well, that's like my dad, and this is kind of on the blue-collar side. My pops, he played pro football, and then he was a longshoreman. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did after football. He was a longshoreman, which is a blue-collar job.
Yeah.
Well,
and make good money.
Yeah. And
because but what's so hard.
Yeah, but what's crazy is, I don't know if you know about like longshoreman unions. He always told me, like, if he died, I get a pass. If I wanted the job, I get a pass and immediately can become a longshoreman.
Really?
Yeah. But
it's really hard to get in, though.
Yeah, but if not, then you go on a waiting list.
Just like everybody else?
Yeah, well, you kind of have a little preference or preferential treatment because your family is in it. But, so I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's blue collar. You know, like my buddy Jay Levias, who's black, his dad was a longshoreman, passed away, and Jay got a pass immediately.
Now, do you have to pass away during work or just pass away, period?
He passed away. Oh yeah, I think it happened on the job, but I don't think it matters.
Oh, okay.
I think if my dad just died of old age while he was a longshoreman, I would get I get the spot.
See, that could be considered white privilege and nepotism and.
But my buddy Jay's black.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it applies to everyone.
All right, right.
But see, the thing is, when black people don't have access to those jobs way back, then our chance of being, receiving those same benefits are much lower.
Oh, and there's definitely the old money thing.
Oh,
like,
my God.
yeah. Like,
That's
like P. Diddy.
Right.
Like...
You gotta have 3 generations down.
Yeah.
But see, the funny thing about that, I was watching a documentary on Chipotle,
Yeah.
So the guy was saying...
That's this girl from Compton, right?
Yes.
I think I used to date Chipotle.
So the guy was saying, man, I wanted to open a restaurant, right? And he goes, so I asked my family and friends for the loan, and so they gave me $500,000. So I'm like, the fact that, and I had
you can just call somebody
right,
and be like,
for $500,000. I had an Asian friend. Her dad told her, I'll give you even $50,000 to start a business or $50,000 to own a home, put down on a home. So she chose the business, great sushi restaurant in Tacoma, and that type of thing. So so the guy who had the idea for Chipotle, he's not necessarily a better restaurateur or smarter than anybody else. He just had access to $500,000. I
gotta get in on this white privilege thing, man. Who can
that's all money? That ain't even because the Asian people, it's so black people generally, I don't know many, we don't have as much money to just give our kids. You know how much money you have to loan somebody $500,000? That means you're willing to lose it.
Yeah, to just be like, oh, you want cash or check?
Right.
Like,
now Chipotle's worth $1 billion or whatever. So yeah, that's the example I use. You just don't have as many black people who have that much disposable income, and then their kids are, to do those things. But like you said, Diddy's on his way.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, God, dude, that always blows me away. Like I said, I gotta get on this white privilege.
And that's socioeconomic. That is another. That's
look
more money.
Kev dropping knowledge.
Is smarter. We're smarter than the average YouTuber.
Well, you are. I don't speak for me. I couldn't even spell half those words. All right. This has been another episode of Ask a Black Guy. Kev on Stage on Twitter at Kev on Stage. Also check out the Playmakers. Kevin Fredericks. Tweet him. Say hello. And then I'm at Big Irish J. And then
Irish J.
For Ask a White Guy, link is right here. See you guys next week.
Ask questions.
Oh yeah. Post your questions. I'm running out of questions for black people. So, even black people, you can ask people questions for your own people.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Next week.